In this video, we're going to build a very powerful social media scraping system using N8N and a really cool API scraping technology that will basically give us, for any particular platform that we like, transcripts, descriptions, statistics on views, comments, likes, shares, whatever that you'd like. Top creators consistently outperform their competition because they use data. And you might have great content ideas, but how do you know what the stuff is that actually resonates with the audience? And the thing is, guys, it's one of the hardest things to figure out when you're starting out creating content. But there is good news, and there is actually a science to it. And I'll show you how you build this entire thing in a clear 5-step process. So even if you're a complete beginner with no coding experience, you will have this working by the end of the video. And I'll also integrate and show you some really cool technologies and hacks that will help you on your journey. So if you haven't already, grab that coffee and let's dive straight in. So step 1 is to decide which social media platform you'd like to use. In this case, guys, I'm going to go with TikTok because I've done lots of content on Instagram and YouTube, but it will be the same process for all of them, though they have slightly different quirks, and you'll figure that out as we go along. So what I'm going to do just to show you how this works is grab the blueprint from my community. So I'm going to head over to the classroom, everyday automation, and it's this one here. It's free and powerful TikTok one. All you do, guys, is you come down and you download the resource. Then you come over, click these 3 little buttons, and then import from file, and just choose the file that you just downloaded. And just like magic, it will appear, and we're going to give this one the name of TikTok Scraper. So how is this actually working? So what we're using with this scenario, just to give you a quick TLDR of how this works, okay? We have an Airtable. Now, what we're storing here is every single account that we would like to scrape. And what we do is we grab their user ID and this thing called a sec ID, and whatever the account is, I'll show you a very easy 1-button way of how you get that. So it's basically the way that TikTok, in this case for us, identifies that user. So once we've got this Airtable and we create this database, what do? Well, we're actually going to call down and grab all the videos from that individual. We're going to do a little bit of code, a little bit of field management. Don't worry about that. It's just some technical gobbledygook that will make sense. We grab the video, we download it, we transcribe it. And what we do when we grab this, guys, is we grab all of the data and we're adding it all to this Google Doc. So we have the transcript, the description, and some statistics, information about the creator. And then what we can do with this is essentially give all of this data to ChatGPT, to Claude, to DeepSeek, to any particular language model that you want to, and we can say, hey, this is all of the basically these are every single TikTok that's been going on in my niche in the past 7 days, and this will run for you automatically on autopilot, by the way. And essentially what we do in step 5 at the end of the video is we say, great, based on this information, what's performing, what are the types of content that has resonance with the audience, and then we're going to use that to make your strategy better on a week-by-week basis. So what we're going to do first of all is build this entire thing together step by step. To do that, I'm going to delete all this stuff and we're going to begin. So step 1, we've done. We're going to choose TikTok for this video. The second step that we need to look at, guys, is to find the right scraper for the job. If we're using YouTube, we can use the Google API, and the skills I'll show in this video shows you how you can basically use this cool stuff to scrape anything. Now, we use Apify a lot. In this video, guys, I'm going to show you something really cool about Rapid API. So you're going to come to this big, beautiful screen. I'll put all the links down below so you can just click and go. You're going to sign up or basically sign in if you have an account, okay? Now, what's really cool about Rapid API is it has access to enable you to essentially scrape whatever you could possibly imagine. Guys, they've got dark mode. You know what they've also got? They've got light mode. I get some critiques for not having dark mode on sometimes, but man, I gotta run to the light. I gotta run to the good place. So what we've got here, we've got loads of cool stuff. The one that we're gonna be interested in, you can see we've got Instagram, Zillow, lots of stuff. I would like the TikTok one, so I just go for TikTok in the search bar like so. Beautiful, scrap, tick. That sounds really decent. So we just click on the top one. Obviously, it's just like a Willy Wonka's Emporium with different scrapers. You select the scraper that you like, and then you'll see a page that looks like this. And just to give you the TLDR of how this works, guys, don't worry about the fact that it looks like code. Everything on the left is an end point. In other words, it's a particular request. So think of it kind of like each one of them is doors, and behind each door is a piece of information, which is really handy. Now, what we first want to do is get a user ID. This is TikTok's identifier. So what I would like you to do is on the left-hand side, you can scroll down or type it in if you prefer. We are going to look for, if this will load down, one moment. There you go. Username to ID on the bottom left. We click on that. Then it loads up. Then what you do is, this is what the app is, the Rapid API key, the request URL. You click on to parameters there. Click on parameters and enter a username. So for this one, I think we should let's do Ali Abdaal actually, because he is really cool, and we'll just check out his thing. So Ali Abdaal TikTok is a quick for instance, and there is his username. So let's copy that. He's got 2.7 million likes and 300,000 followers. So what do? We enter in the username, and then guys, in the top right, you can click on test endpoint. And if you've never created a Rapid API account before, you basically just subscribe to it and it'll pop up. So we click on test endpoint like so and wait for the results to appear. And would you believe it? It has appeared. So we've got Ali Abdal. So what we do then, guys, is head over to Airtable in this instance, which is really cool. So I'm going to build one of those with you together right now. So let's go over to airtable.com. I'm just going to duplicate this and we'll do it. Airtable, if you're not familiar, is kind of like Google Sheets that's been hitting the Mexican supplements. And by that, I mean it's been smashing the steroids because it's way more configurable. We can do a bazillion things with it. And it just makes our life easier. And your first 500 records are completely free. So you don't need to worry about costs in this case. So we've got the name. The other two filters I want you to get, guys, is user ID and sec UID. So we're going to come here. We're going to call this one, double click on it, user ID. Long text is fine. Single line text is okay. And then the second one I want you to grab, guys, is the sec ID, sec UID. Come on here. Instead of user, just put single line text, and here, sec UID. And then the first one, what I'd love you to do, once that finishes loading for us, is we're going to come here, I'm going to type in creator. Of course, we're going to give it a fire emoji because that's super important, that we keep the visuals pipping and popping, of course. So we come here, creator. Beautiful. So we're Ali Abdal, the creativity king. We come back over then to our API, which is right here. Well, we've got SecUID. We copy this guy. Beautiful. Come back over this, paste this in, and then user ID. Copy this, come back over, paste them in there. Awesome. And by the way, guys, I got some really freaking epic little shortcuts and hacks in Intent I think you're going to really appreciate in this video. So we've got Ali Abdal. What would be the first step you do here? You would then think about every creator in your space, in your niche. If you're productivity, what are all the top productivity content creators like that are making the content? And then the system will allow us to say, hey, there's 50 videos that went out in your niche, right? These freaking 7 are killing it. We can use AI to analyze that and say, dude, like this is where the resonance with customers are. This is where we want you to create content. Go forth and do that. So we've done this one. We're going to call this one Productivity Scraper TikTok. All right, beautiful. What is going on with the TikTok ban in America, by the way? I don't know. I've been curious to know what the latest is with that. Cool. So we've got this. Now, what is the next step? So we've got the scraper for job. So just read through it. We've chosen TikTok. Could be anyone. We've picked a scraper. If you didn't choose it, you easily could have, guys, chosen Instagram from this or YouTube as any platform that you want to. It's the same sort of process. Cool. So we've got the user ID. So we're going to now head over to n8n.io, our no-code platform builder of choice. I'll put a link below so you can check that out. And if you are new to n8n, I've just built out a masterclass in the community because there's some quirks to it, which can really help, shortcut your learning journey. So what do we do? Now, just to get started with N8N, there's always a trigger with these things. In other words, what is the thing that starts it? Another way I'm going to configure this with you is I'm going to have it run every 7 days because I want to review this content every Sunday. So basically every Sunday it's going to run, I'll get a document, and then I can start thinking about what I'd like to do, what that looks like. For the time being, we're going to click on trigger manually, which basically means we can click this beautiful orange button and it will run, which is flipping cool. Now, what we want to do first of all is basically have it grab the information from Airtable, because in Airtable, what we have is every single creator that we want to look at. In this case, it's just Ali Abdal. When you do it, you'll have 5, 10, 12 people. The more, the better. You don't want to give it defunct data, although it will understand live views. And TikTok's quite a meritocratic platform. In other words, every piece of content has every opportunity to go viral. So it's actually fine. It's really interesting in that sense. There's no algorithm bias like that. So what do? We look on the plus. You're going to type in Airtable. Hit this up, and you look for search records. Now, you won't have a credential, so come down and click on create a new credential, and you'll see here you need an access token, okay? So what do? We come over to Airtable. I'm just going to duplicate this and head over to airtable.com to show you exactly where you get that from. You come onto the homepage, guys, click on that beautiful J at the top, and I believe it's account. Then, guys, scroll down and click on the developer hub, a place where developers like to hang out and have a rock and roll a good time. And then here you click on create token, and then here click on create a new token. We want to give it a cool name like TikTok, like that. And then scopes, add all the scopes that you think you might need. You can add all of them if you want to. This is basically, do you want it to be able to read, to write, to do whatever you like to, so add all the ones that you'd like. So I've selected all of them, and then access. I always say all current and future bases, just so I'm not having a faff around, and come back, and then we create the token. You're then going to copy that token, guys, come over to the access token, and just pop it in here. And there we go, it's done, and we click save, and that should work for us fine. Credential successfully saved, and that's account 3. Decent, so now we have access, and we'll get rid of this. No brave. We're okay, thank you. So we now connect it. So now let's choose the base that we picked. Now, what did we call our database? The productivity scraper. Cool. So come down from list, and we'll just type in productivity scraper. Come to me. Okay, cool. And then we're also going to pick the table. Now, this is cool. Basically, I'd recommend you have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, blah, 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 all the way down, LinkedIn on the actual tabs here. But we've just got table 1 just to keep it very simple. So table is going to be table 1. Phenomenal. No need to form. No form is needed at all. And we just test step. Cool. And as you can see, guys, the left of every panel in N8N is the information that comes in, and the right is all the outputs, which you can view in table, JSON, or the schema if you want to. And everything's very drag and drop. So we can see here, when it's created, the creator, user ID, and a SecuID. How cool is that? It's very cool. So what's the next thing we need to do? The next thing we now need to do is, hey, okay, we know the creator. Okay, we've got all the creators listed. And we know who they are. We've got their IDs. We kind of want to just go and grab their posts, right? We want to kind of say, look, well, what the hell has he actually posted? Give me the last 10 posts he's done. Give me the last 20 posts he's done. So to do that, we're going to pop back over to Rapid API. So guys, the one that we want next is user posts. So in the endpoint section on the left, just type in user post, and you'll see that get user posts, and then this thing here will appear for you. User post, you can see. So what do? We click on the parameters, and we've got user ID. In other words, that is the individual who's posted it. So what do? We come over to, this one's mine. We're going to copy Ali Abdal's user ID. This is just as a for instance to show you that it works. We come back over. Here we go. All right, come in, delete that, hit enter. And you can see as I change things on the left, it changes things on the right. And then what we want to do is just simply test the endpoint for us. Let that load up for a moment. And one of the things I really like about Rapid, guys, is it just kind of pulls all this stuff in, yeah? And like, what's really cool is there's no need to go and take the API keys back and forth. And I'll show you a real cool hack that how that works. It's really tasty. So we've got all this information. And like, I click on 0, and this is every piece of information that we need. The description, I was today years old when I realized I've been using posts all wrong. Life hack video, blah, blah, blah. And we've got all the information an automator could dream of. So we know that works, right? So what do we do now? What I want you to do, code snippet, can you see this is shell and curl? All you're going to do, guys, and this is so freaking cool. You're going to copy the snippet, right? We're going to go back over to N8N. And what we're going to do is click on this button, click on HTTP request, right? Sounds complicated, don't worry about it. Look, import curl, and then just paste that thing in. And look at this. By magic, the whole thing will just pre-populate for us. What does that mean? It means it's pretty freaking cool. Now, you'll see, guys, can you see here? It's brought the value over. And it's brought that value over because that's what I put into it. Not on this one. I've got so many tabs open, it's crazy. That's what I put into it here. So whatever, if I change this to something crazy, it would update that on the right-hand side. That's why that's brought that over. But in reality, we're going to have several creators. We're going to have Ali. We're going to have all these different productivity ones. So instead of the number here on the user ID, I want you to get rid of that. I want you to grab and bring it over here, okay? Now check this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click off. One cool feature of N8N, guys, is the fact that if you think about we have this process going from left to right, sometimes we don't want to have to keep going back to Airtable and scraping it and doing loads of things. So what we can do instead is what's known as pinning. So we can pin the data. And when that data is pinned and you see that beautiful little ping, it means that basically we're just going to assume that this already happened and we'll start from this point onwards. So now if I come to the HTTP request and I hit press play, it will just grab the Airtable record and it's completed. And if we look over to the right-hand side now, can you see this is all of the beautiful information that we got from Ali? That's all the posts that he's done. It's like all this data information, which is really freaking cool. And that's all the secret sauce that we need to create this incredible TikTok scraper. But there is one kind of quirk when I was building this in the lab, guys, that was quite interesting to me. And that's the way this API works. You can see it's come out as one item, which isn't that helpful to us because I kind of want to go download all the videos, all the transcripts of the videos, I want all the textual videos. So we've got to find a way of pulling out the right information. So to do that, we're going to add in a set field. So I come up to set, edit field set. Now we're going to do manual mapping. That's absolutely fine. And HTTP request. Okay, cool. So you can see, if I come over to schema here, we've got all of this stuff here. What I want you to do is you've got the name. So this name is just going to be video 1. And the value is going to be this. That's it. I'm going to save you about 15 minutes of your life, okay? And I'm going to tell you that's the one that you want, okay? Just enter that in there. You copy and paste it. If you're not in the community, you got a blueprint, you can just screenshot it, whatever, and just have it transcribed. That's the one that you want. Then, guys, we just do it again, and we go 4. What comes after 1? Well, it's 2, right? Boom. And instead of 0, you're going to go for 1. Beautiful. And then same thing again. Instead of 1, you're going to go for 2. And I'll call this one video 3. Okay, and you basically do this for as many videos as you have. I'm going to do it for 5, just for out of respect for your time. Beautiful. And then let's just do one final one here, which is going to be video 5. Beautiful. I'm going to change that one to 4. Sound cool? Sounds pretty cool to me. We're going to click off, and once again, let's just pin this data, so we don't have to keep replaying it, although it was a cool step. I enjoyed it. Now look, test step. Let's see what comes out. And all we're saying is I want you to bring that information, pull it over to the right. And you can see we have 5 URLs. What is the significance of the URLs? Well, if I click on it and I open up a tab here, which I'm just going to duplicate and have a quick look, what do we see?
You're probably using post-it notes wrong. Here's how you use them properly. Normally, we rip off post-it notes like this, but the problem is that it then
Okay, is it bad that I kind of wanted to see what happened with that post-it note? Actually, let's watch it. Let's see what happens.
To naturally unstick itself. Instead, you should rip them off sideways because then it sticks properly. Tip number 3 for typing and say.
Okay. I actually don't know what to say. I'm going to be using that hack. That was a good use of our 5 minutes. Cool. So we've got it, and let's pin this data. Phenomenal. Now, guys, here's a really cool hack for you in NA10. Now, you can see that I've got 6 things here, right? So 5 things here. Video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, if I try to download that, I'm not going to run it 5 times. It's just going to download the first one. So what we can do with NA10, I call this the super glue of NA10. I call it like the WD-40, familiar with that. And we can actually add into NA10 code. So look, if I click on this button and I type in code. Now, we're not coding here, right? That's the thing. This is a no-code platform. But what we can do is say, hey, AI, this is the problem that I've got. I want you to create some code that will fix it. And then basically you can literally paste it into here and it will do it for you, right? So I'm going to do this with you step by step and show you this. So I'm going to head over to ChatGPT very quick. In fact, I'm going to over to Claude. And the reason I'm going to show you this, guys, is just so you get the skill of learning how to do this. So look, I'm going to copy this to the clipboard. And essentially the prompt is basically what you're doing. I'm in NA10. I want to have some code that will make these processes as 6 different items so that I can download them individually. Then we paste a screenshot. Then guys, we copy the code that appears there, come back over then and just type in the code like so, okay? Now, if I run test step, we'll see what happens here. I'm not expecting it to work on the first occasion, but we'll see. And it has inputted 5 items. And we know this because we can see the 5 items. And when you realize, guys, that you can use code to fix things, like there's always going to be some really minute technical way that you can do something in NA10. Like if you know enough, there's always going to be a little way to do it. For me, these little mini code blocks, these little mini code rockets are freaking awesome. Like if you're just struggling to get something done, just freaking throw a code block in there that does something. Say, hey, I want this to this. And oftentimes you'll find that you can work some magic. But what's the TLDR of it now? We've got the videos. We have them as 5 items, which now means that we are ready to download them. And I already went through the trouble of figuring out how to get the video to the transcript in NA10. So we're going to breeze through this a little bit. So what's next? Well, the next thing, guys, is a little quirk. So you see this video here, tiktok.aliab. If I try to download this URL, I'm not going to get the actual video because this isn't the video. This is a page on TikTok that has a video embedded into it. So you're never actually ever going to be able to download this. And this will be a really cool hack for you if you're ever trying to actually get a video URL, which you'll always find in some scenario or another. So what we kind of want to do is give it the identifying URL, like, hey, this is the video on TikTok. Give me something I can actually download. That's basically what we're saying, okay? So we come back over to the beautiful Rapid API. And what we're going to look for, I'm going to get rid of the endpoint thing here. On the left-hand side is we want to get the video without the watermark, which I think is pretty cool. So let's try and find that. Can you see it on the left? Oh my goodness. If I just type in watermark, maybe it pops up. Video without watermark. Why is this important? Because we need to download it, okay? And this gives us a URL. So yeah, it's fine. Just leave that URL for now. And once again, guys, we can test the endpoint. And look at this. This is beautiful. You're going to love this. Look at this. Now it gives us this link. Now check this out. By the way, no watermark link, music link, cover link, avatar thumbnails. Guys, what else do you need? Oh my, this is outrageous stuff. And the cool thing is it gives us all the information. So look, how many comments, how many digs. I think a dig is like a vote up on TikTok. I don't know why they're using such strange language, but you know, WhatsApp share count, play count. This is all the gold dust that we're going to use to start making things, because we can then, once we know the data and the performance, we can marry those things together to create something pretty epic. And by the way, guys, I sold an automation recently for like a kind of a scraper on a social media things. Like literally thousands of dollars in one pop. They're really, really, really straightforward. They're not straightforward when you know how, but like, yeah, this stuff, not only is it valuable, guys, it really sells. So look, I've got this no watermark link. I copy this. Let me give you a quick example of what this looks like. So you can see the difference, the wonders. Okay, yeah, so this is, I don't know what's going on actually. Man, we really picked a strange account, didn't we? This is funny. Okay, cool. So we've got this odd, bizarre thing with Ali Abdul. Don't know what he's doing. Oh, wait, no, that isn't Ali Abdul. This is a random one. Okay, that kind of makes more sense. I think Ali Abdul went a little bit left field with that. So we come over to code snippets and we're going to copy the text. And then we come back over, guys, to our N8N scenario. And in fact, let me just do something really clean with this. I'm just going to name these as we go. So this one was grab the video URLs. So if we name them, I think that'd be really handy, right? Because then we know like what they're all doing. So then let's go to here, another HTTP request. Beautiful. Now check this one out. Import curl. You know what, guys? Boom. Get this one in here. Bam. And it has populated, but it's this value here. So check this out. What we need to do now is give it the value from the code. And we can't really just grab the video, right? So this is another challenge we've got here. We can't just grab video one because it'll just do video one. So instead, we're going to give this value here, which is basically saying, hey, I want the JSON URL from code. And since it's going to fire off 5 times, we should get it 5 times. So shall we physically test it and see what it looks like by clicking test step? And we'll see the output on the right-hand side. So give that a hot second and we should see 5 results. Then watermark link. Oh my gosh, this is really freaking cool. I really love this. And we got no watermark. Guys, this is freaking perfect. I love this. So now this should be something of Ali's if I open it up, not this crazy stock video.
You're probably using post-it notes wrong.
Cool. And now we've got something we can work with. We've got something we can actually download with. I think it's freaking cool. So let's come back over and then let's look at what the next step is. Well, first of all, of course, we need to rename this, right? Which is get downloadable URL. Beautiful. Well, actually, guys, the next step is really simple. And what I really like about this N8N thing is we can see the number of items. Quite simply, guys, we just want to download it now. That's it. So let's just do that. HTTP request, and get is fine. And then we're just going to give it the URL. And the URL is very simply the no watermark link. So I don't believe we need to add anything else. So I'm just going to test this step and see how we go. This should give me 5 things on the right-hand side. I should be able to see them if it's done it properly. And I should be able to download them also. So we let that download. Give that a hot second. Okay, the suspense is intense. This looks good to me. So should we view? Let's view this one.
Tip number 3 for typing insanely fast, which is...
This is... Dude, do you know, maybe we should... I think if we made a commitment that we were going to watch one of the videos every time it came up, I think by the end of the video, we'd also be productive. That's a nice little value we've, right? That would be pretty tasty. So we've got this. The next thing we want to do is, well, we're going to need the transcript, right? Because the captions are cool, the stats are cool, but what the hell is he talking about? Is he talking about post-it notes or typing quickly? This is important information. So we need to then start transcribing things. So to do that, we are then going to click on a new module, Advanced AI, go for OpenAI, like so, and then go for, I think it's just transcription. Yeah, transcribe a recording. Beautiful. And then we need to get the data over. All right. So I'm going to show you something interesting here, actually. So if you haven't got a credential with OpenAI yet, here's what you need to do. It's platform.openai.com / well, not assistance, but come down to API keys on the bottom left, and you basically create a new key, get the key, then you're able to create that new thing. But look, I come back over now to the scenario. I'm going to show you something really interesting. This is not going to work, and I'll show you why. Look, I test this step. Wow. Oh, credentials issue. Okay. That isn't the reason why it wasn't going to work, by the way. There was another reason, but I just wanted to show you what this is like, because this would really me. Look at this, bad request. It's not very nice when they tell us it's a bad request, is it? Here's a reason why this isn't working. Because this is basically saying here that I need it to be an MP4 format, and in reality it is. But the difference here, guys, is the fact that this title, the name of this video that we've downloaded very gloriously only one module ago, doesn't end in .mp4, which essentially means that OpenAI is like banging its head on the wall and doesn't have the wherewithal to understand that. So what we're going to do is use the WD-40 of N8N once again, known as the code module, okay? So what we're going to do with this code module is basically grab the video, we're going to call it .mp4, and then we're going to feed it to OpenAI, and that will actually then work for us. So look, I come here, I type in code, run some custom code. So instead of using the code from the last video, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screenshot this and show you how I would chat with Claude to do this. By the way, Claude I do prefer because its coding ability is just a few levels higher. So ChatGPT runs around in circles sometimes. So if I were trying to solve this problem, this is why I wanted this video to be something that you could learn a lot from. I'm going to say, hey, I need to rename these MP4s to end in .mp4 so that I might transcribe them. This is an N8N. I want them to be processed individually. Call them video1.mp4, video2.mp4, etc. Boom. So I've just given it something. I mean, that's like 3 lines, guys, 3-4 lines. So this will give us some code. It's written some JavaScript, and we'll see if this works on the first time. If it doesn't, we will figure out why not. So I copy it. I'm going to come back over then to a beautiful, phenomenal scenario. I click on code. I'm going to all boom. And let's just test this step. It's executing the node. Cool. And look at this, guys. File name. Video1.mp4. Video2.mp4. Okay, cool. You can't pin it annoyingly, which is strange. But if I come back over and then I attach it to OpenAI's Transcribe recording, let's see if this works. So let's just go and pin everything that is pinnable, just so we don't have to go through and live life on repeat. As fun as this journey's been with you, and I freaking love it, you can always go back and check this out. But look, okay, you ready? So come, I hit play. Let's see if it'll work this time. Have we got something magical before us? Is it going to work? What do you think? You back Claude? Did you back Claude as a play? Let's see what happens. So this is, the fact it's taken a couple of seconds, I think, is quite positive. So this has worked properly. We will see all of Ali Abdol's transcripts magically appear for us in the output section, which I think is really cool. And you know, social media is such an incredible way to get clients. The more guys, here you go, guys, look at this. This is every single one of Ali Abdol's transcripts. So we just, bam, got into N8N. And what's cool about these techniques, guys, is these techniques can be applied in many different ways across many different lenses in N8N, which I think is really cool. So good little tools for your tool belt there. So finally, what we want to do is add it to a Word document. Of course, you could add it to an Airtable. I'm going to add it to a Word doc because, and obviously we could then give it all to AI to analyze and give the prompts, but I'm just going to show you this so you have it in a Word document form because maybe you want to share it with your team. Either way, we could add an AI module or we could do something. So what do we do? And bear up, we're still on step 3 here because once we've gotten the AI data, then we can go to step 4 to analyze it. And then finally, guys, we want to add in Google Docs. If you're not connected with Google Cloud, all that sort of stuff, I'll put a link below in the description so you can follow that step by step of how you integrate it. But just out of respect for your time, I won't repeat it in this video. I'll also put a little card on the screen somewhere so you can grab it. Type in Google Docs. And by the way, when you're in this console where you're adding things, this is where you add everything, by the way, in this API. The console cloud, Google Library, like YouTube, Google Docs, all your permissions. It's dead straightforward. But again, I'll put a link down below for you so you can just crack on with it. Cool, but what have we got here, guys? We want it to create, no, we don't want it to create. Actually, what is better here? Have I added create a document? Oh my goodness, I did. I did the wrong thing. Right, let's come back over, Google document. Cool, I actually wanted to update a document, right? And I want to go over to create a document that we can use like this called TikTok Scraper, for instance. And then we want to be able to do some cool stuff like this, right? So how does that work? Basically, we come back over to our N8N scenario, doc ID or URL. We need the ID. So how do you find the ID? Well, basically you copy the URL of the Google Doc and you paste it in. And the thing you're looking at here is you can see it's D1, you get rid of this bit beforehand, and then it's all this up until the /edit. Bam. Okay? That's it. Text is insert, action is insert, body segment, and then you've got the text. Now I'm just going to give you the TLDR, guys, of what this looks like, just to make it super simple for you. So I've pasted this stuff in here, okay? Let's have a look, and let me just pop this out. So what have I got here, okay? Now look, check this out. I got the transcript, which is cool. JSON. And basically what I want you to do is just JSON.text for the transcript. That's how that's going to work. Then we've got video details, description, all this sort of stuff. So let's just leave that as it is for a moment, and we can clean it up in a second. Right, so if I come off this for a moment, let me just test this step and delete everything in here. Okay, so I've deleted everything with the scraper, so we know now this is all going to be pretty decent. So let me just test the step very quickly and explain what all this stuff does. Reference code items does not exist. Cool, so as you can see here, we've got the transcripts. If I just get rid of this stuff for the moment and test the step and see what that looks like, give that a hot moment and see if it brings it over, then I'm going to want to bring over all the data and the cool bits and pieces. So it's done 5 different ads, which is cool. So let's go over to the document and see. As you can see, it's just batched all the transcripts together. Cool. Why is it all in one way? It's all in one way because we haven't added any spaces or information in between it just yet. So let's come up here, for instance. And what we can do, guys, is we can actually check if we come back over to one of these modules. I think it was the get downloadable URL. Can you see here how we've got all this information, right? Like the text. Boom. That's a downloadable URL. Great. We want that, right? The created time. Boom, I like that. And then statistics. So we've got all this cool stuff. So if I just copy maybe all the statistics here and bring that in. And let's see what this one does, just so you can get a sense of what that looks like. Now, again, it should just be all a mangled, jangled, different thing. So come back over and check out what we've got. And you can see, so it's starting to bring things over. Okay, it's got the ID, but it's not brought everything over perfectly just yet. So let me come back and delete this stuff. So guys, what I've done now is just added a bit of detail, like the transcript. Here's a description, get downloadable URL, statistics, get downloadable, and then you can see I've grabbed and pulled that one over specifically. This will be in the blueprint when you upload it, but basically you can do this. And if it doesn't work, guys, one of the cool things you can do is chat with beautiful Claude or ChatGPT to make this freaking phenomenal. So this should be everything that we need. Have I deleted everything? I have. I come back over, I test the step, and then that should work for us perfectly. Give that a hot second, and then we should see the stuff starting to appear. And voila, we've got all the information. We've got the transcript with the video details. We've got the description. We've got everything you could possibly need ready to rock and roll. So that is the end of step 3. Step 4 is the point now where we use this information with a language model to improve our own content. And to do that, I'd recommend using a prompt, something like this. Okay, so analyze the TikTok data provided. Obviously, in this case, you can have 20, 30, 40. Generate a concise list of video ideas and content themes organized with bullets, emojis based on what's working. Focus on identifying content, blah, blah, blah. Then we say competitor, analysis, there we go, beautiful. So then we go over to our document and let's just copy everything, come back over, enter, and see what it comes back with. Obviously, you're going to finesse this out a little bit and play around with it, and I've got some full prompts that go into way more detail. I just want to show you something quick on the hand here just so you can get an idea. So look, you can see productivity hacks, type of video has 1.1 is the highest, financial advice, video ideas, and basically, guys, the AI will then take this and create something unique. How you take this to another level, by the way, is you're going to give it information about your business. You're going to give it information about the types of content that you make, your avatar, who you focus on. And we have so many blueprints in the community for this. There's one on the making your YouTube channel unstoppable here in your YouTube blueprint prompt. I'd recommend using this one, guys. It basically says, hey, this is the overview. Here's my information, my channel, my target demographic, my niche. And you can basically transpose this. And these are good examples of videos that crush the titles, thumbnails, that sort of stuff. And then we can use that to create incredible content ideas based on the content that's actually performing. And you can do that every Sunday, meaning that you have a full calendar of items that you can make content on that you know will do well. And step 5 of the process is actually improving the content. Improving on social media is 1,000 micro decisions and not one micro decisions. If you commit to getting better every single week, you will start to enjoy those compounding effects over time. Using this AI is incredible. It gives you such data, and the fact that we can scrape this stuff now from all these scenarios at the click of a finger and get all these things of every competitor, every video in the niche is unbelievable, but it's only as good as your ability to implement it. So with that in mind, you've got to take on one new thing every week and try your best to improve on the content. Check out your comments for video ideas and combine all this together for something that truly crushes it. And the technology is one thing, but if you don't know how to build funnels that sell, you're really going to trip up as you grow. So check out this video on screen right now where Alex Hormozi basically sat down and he roasted my entire YouTube funnel for a full hour. I think you'll really enjoy it.